started doing drugs in the 6th grade.
If I have sex with 50 guys, it doesn't matter.
I'm not scared to die.
I cannot control this child.
Well, it is certainly no secret that the holidays can be an especially hard time for families.
All the family dinners and commitments can be enough to give an already troubled teen a major meltdown. Joining us now, teen behavior specialist and host of the new Lifetime show, Teen Trouble, Josh Shipp. Josh, good morning.
Thanks for having me.
We're so pleased to have you here.
We've all been to the family dinners where there's that teenager kind of sulking in the corner, and that's somewhat normal. It's that age where that happens. But when can you tell the difference between it being a real problem or just a moody teenager?
You know, really the question back in the day used to be, is my kid at risk? Now the fact is every kid lives in an at-risk culture, meaning that every kid at some point in their life is going to have the opportunity to become oppositional, to make a decision that will forever change their life for the worse.
Yeah.
And the fact is, parents need to understand is that it's actually part of a teenager's job to push the boundaries.
Sure.
So that is normal. Your kid is not broken. Now, on the other side of that is, as a parent, it is your job to hold the boundaries.
Right.
And I can guarantee you the teenagers are going to do their job. They're going to try to drive you crazy. They're going to push the boundary. The question is, will you hold the boundary?
And that's in a fairly normal situation. You're talking about troubled teens, particularly troubled teens that have other mitigating circumstances.
Yeah, of course. These are kids that are highly oppositional. These are kids that are drug dealers, gang members, truly drug addicts. But here's the truth. Any kid is about 2 choices away from being that sort of kid that I work with.
Absolutely.
But you know what, in my ongoing negotiations, as a parent of a 17-year-old, my daughter, who's a good girl, basically is like, she wants brownie points for not being on drugs. And I'm like, no, you don't get credit for not doing those bad things. It's expected you won't do those bad things.
Absolutely. And that's part of the thing, is you need to expect the best and be prepared for the worst. And parents who don't have a game plan in advance for that inevitable troubled situation are really in a lot of trouble themselves.
How do you get the parents to be part of the solution, too? Because they play a part in this, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely they do. They cannot enable the situation. The common thread that I see with every troubled teenager I work with is no consistent consequences. A lot of threats, but no consistent consequences. And part of that reason is there's no game plan in advance.
Sure.
You know, if you do this, this is going to happen. So what happens is that parents either underpunish or overpunish out of emotion. You know, they're really upset, and so they overpunish, and that's not fair. Or they're burnt out, tired of it, sick and tired of this, and so they underpunish, do nothing, which only enables the behavior.
Sure.
You yourself as a teenager, you were, you had a bit of a tumultuous life yourself.
Yes.
A lot went on in your life. What did you find kind of hits the message home? Because you were in that situation yourself. You say there are a few ways to really get the message through to some of these troubled teens.
Yeah, the truth is that teenagers need to have that aha moment. And that's what I do with them on my show, is I try to fast forward the choices you're making now. Here's where that's going to lead. This could lead to prison. This could lead to being homeless. This could lead to being in jail. And the key here is that, number one, you want to talk about your mistakes as an adult, as a parent. The fact is, in life, our imperfections make us human.
Sure does.
And our humanity makes us influential. And so with your kid, if you want to have a vulnerable, open conversation, you want them to talk about something that's awkward, well, you talk about something that's awkward. You talk about something that's difficult and challenging for you. Vulnerability leads to vulnerability.
You say focus on questions, not statements. As adults, we love to just do this, right?
And of course, the kid's driving you crazy and you just want to go, can't you get this through your thick skull?
And they want to be heard.
Yeah, of course. So here's the thing. Questions lead to critical thinking, right? Whereas when you just lecture, it only really creates one thing, them tuning you out. Like, that's it. If you just lecture, blah, 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 blah,
my daughter says constantly, she's like, Dad, I'm tired of your declarative statements.
Yep.
How do you do that?
So here's the thing. When you want to say, I can't believe you did that, just pose it as a question. It's understandable you're frustrated. Pose it as a question. What do you think you should have done differently? What would you do differently next time? Because you cannot change the choice that the kid made. You can't.
And one of the first things you said, too, because we were saying, how do you get through? You're so young looking yourself, but you just said, it doesn't matter what age you are, be authentic.
Yeah, I know I look 12 years old myself, but I've been working with teens for 12 years, and that is true. Authenticity trumps everything. Teenagers are used to people talking down to them, not being authentic with them, skating around the issues. You know, just be honest, be yourself. Whether you're 30 years old like me or whether you're 70 years old, doesn't matter. Authenticity trumps everything. That will help you connect with that kid.
Josh's new show is called Teen Trouble. It's premiering on Lifetime. You might know some family members, some neighbors, some friends that need to take a look at this to get some hope and inspiration and direction on how they can deal with their troubled teen. Thank you so much. That premieres December 28th on Lifetime.
Thank you.
Josh, thank you so much for your work.
My pleasure.